But for this thing, obviously what you're going to do is you're going to find the time, put time across, and then go this divided by the time and get this. Yeah? Okay? I'm just going to guess, because I'm good at guessing. I'm just going to throw this out there. How about 25.5? Now, the second thing, and this drives people mad. This drives people mad. I want you to derive. See how I derived? I derove. Derived. I derove. I have deriven. I derived. I derived this formula, didn't I? Very complicated formula. You need to derive a formula for V, or U, or whatever, right? V in terms of H and X. You ought to be able to do it, shouldn't you? Let me give you a clue. V is always going to be X over T, where T is the time in the air, correct? Yes? T you're going to get from this. H is 1/2 gt squared, correct? Yes, where g is the acceleration, h is the distance. Isn't it going to be? Can you solve this for t? Can you substitute that solution into here? Can you get a formula that looks like this, only has no angle and stuff like that? That has only h and g and x? Can you do it? I know you can. Right? So that's the thing. And then, try the formula. Derive a formula, try the formula. So that's the challenge for this one. This is all written down on a sheet that will be by the computers, so you don't need to memorize this. And then the final one is main menu. And then R will relocate the target, right? So R will, if you hit R, it'll put the target in a different place. Oh, look at that. R. I missed it, right? Okay. And then X goes to the main menu. Okay. And then the final one is a cliff with a moving target. So now the object is there. It starts off at 100, right? Okay. And it's going to move to the right. It's going to move to the right at 10 meters per second. So if I shoot for where it is, okay, if I shoot for where it is, launch angle 0, always make it 0, launch speed 22.17, just a guess. If I shoot for where it is, I don't hit it, because it's almost like they don't want the aid parcel, yeah? They're moving away. They're like, we're going, yeah? Okay? So how do I hit the target? Do I shoot for where it was, or do I shoot for where it's going to be? And how do we know where it's going to be?
You calculate its speed.
You know how fast it's going. It's going 10 meters per second. Don't you know the time it will take to hit it? Yes. Is the time affected by the speed of that cart?
Yeah. No.
No, what's the only thing that affects the time if you shoot level? Is it just the height of the cliff? Yeah. Remember that whole thing? It's only the height of the cliff that affects the time. It's not how far out it goes, right? Remember this horizontal, vertical are separate. Flames, things like that. Remember this? Yeah. Yes. Okay. So that doesn't matter. It's going to hit it at the same time. You know whatever that time is, once you figure it out for this thing, it's always the same, right? So then can't you figure out where it's going to be and shoot for that? Okay. So then once you've done that, right, go ahead and try it again and relocate the target. It keeps moving, right? It's like, and then once you miss, you've got to try again. And it goes from there, right? Okay. But anyway, get so that you can hit the target, right? And so one way is to figure out where it's going to be, shoot for that spot. Here's the other way. Some kid figured this out, and I thought this was the coolest thing, right? I go, how'd you figure it out? And the kid goes, well, what I did was I figured out how to hit it where it was, and I added 10. And I said, you can't solve it that way. That's just luck. And then I thought about it, and it's like, no, you can solve it that way. Yeah, that's one way to do it, right? Is to shoot for it at 100 and then add 10 to your speed. Isn't that wild? So shoot for where it is. And the reason that works is that you're basically just putting yourself in that frame of reference, aren't you? Imagine that you're on a car, instead of a very tall car, 100 meters tall, going 10 meters per second with the car. Don't you just shoot for where it is? Right? So you just take your velocity, add 10. I don't know. I thought that was a very elegant solution. So, I don't know. Okay.